My desk's a mess. And you love it. I'm gonna pause those for a second. Those, plural. Here's what's happening. You know what a tube amp is, right? All right, picturing your mind what year it is, like 1920. What's the first tube amp? Had to be a long time ago. And then tube amps disappeared. Now tube amps are back. Tube amps are back. It's like, oh my God, because tubes add a little bit of a flavor and they power things differently, and that inherently changes the way things sound and the way the actual physical drivers react. Because remember, all music is coming through a physical moving membrane, and it's a motor assembly, and then if you control the motor a little bit differently from a different perspective, that's what changes the sound. But tubes really haven't changed. In fact, a lot of times you get a tube amp, like something along the lines of like a Tor amp, or even this, which I have out, which is the Little Bear with the little vintage Raytheon American tubes. It's like, ooh, tubes, and they're all going back to get the old shit, because new shit isn't as good as the old shit, except when you get really expensive new shit. So what if I told you that there were NuTubes? Not just new made tubes. What if there was a new type of tube? What if inside of this little thing there was new tubes? Have you heard the name Korg before? Wasn't Korg a bad guy in something? I am Korg. I feel like that was a thing. But no, Korg, they make keyboards and other like heavy duty musical instruments. Well, they came out with a while ago the NuTube. It's literally called the NuTube. A new vacuum tube, which puts vacuum fluorescent display technology to practical use. Now, if you scroll down to the latest news on this, let's see, January, February, May 2016. It's the last anyone's ever heard of this shit. And that's upsetting a little bit, because this little section here, this glass pack in the back, is a NuTube. And an owner sent this to me, and this was custom made for him in Japan, because nobody really is putting out things. He sent me a couple links to where you can, if you wanted to hear this new fluorescent tube technology, which is more efficient, more compact, with the same warmth, because it's the same system, just a different way of doing it. It's very hard to do. Here are the two links he sent me. The first one, apparently, and I'll link this in the description, iBasso Amp 9 NuTube vacuum tube amp module for the DX220, 200, and 150. So just like Feel has their replacement modules in the bottom of like the Q5, apparently iBasso, their personal portable player, you can detach it and put one of these modules up in it. And it's actually glass, and you can see it, and it's, oh, that's cool as fuck. Why doesn't Feel have that? I would love to strap a tube amp onto my Q5S. And let me get this out of the way. It absolutely sitting here, and HE600s, obviously, best headphones to tube ever in the history of ever. You put them on, and I had them straight out of, I think, the Own for a second. Okay, go there. Then I put them into the Little Bear, which will also be linked in the description, because currently this is the kind of size you're looking at to go portable tube. And this is 4 hours. According to the other kit that he sent me, which might still be open in Firefox, yeah. This one I'll link also as well. This is in the DIYaudiostore.com. This is the Korg HA Kit headphone amp kit. 2 AA batteries. You can see the little amp module there. $250, which is not cheap, especially for a fucking kit. But it's all about that Korg, bro. This claims to be able to run 9 hours on 2 AA batteries. This fucking monster, 4 hours. And it's huge. There are some drawbacks, and I can tell you why this isn't super popular. We'll talk about that in a second. Let's keep talking about the good first, because I like the good. I like talking about good things. Don't you like good things? Millen likes good things. What else is Millen known for? Freaking fucking out and blowing shit up. So we'll get to that in a second. Back to, where am I plugged into? A couple things going on. When I first got this, I hooked it up to my other laptop, my silver laptop, and the noise that came through it, I could have sworn I was microwaving the fucking thing, and I was like, what? So it's better on this laptop, but I'm putting into place a whole bunch of USB cleaning things. Somebody sent me a shit weird, which is just a USB power filter. Plug it in, plug in your USB, plug out your USB. All it does is make sure that the power that your USB is getting is clean. Now, to contrast this sharply, and I'm going to have to unplug it for a second, HIFIG has sent me a whole bunch of their power cleaning and noise filtering things, which I should do a full review on. And this is actually the iDefender ground loop power noise cleaner. And as you can see, it's a little bit smaller than this shit weird, because it's just an extension from USB to USB, and on the side you get a USB micro, and you could plug in any. Back there I have an Anchor power supply. Probably not the cleanest as far as USB power goes, but at least there's no laptop hard drive running or any of that stuff. So you can inject into your USB with this as clean a signal as you want. They don't provide the transformer for you. You do that on your own. But this is a great way to just get the power bullshit out. And you can see there's little LEDs on there. One says USB with a lightning bolt, the other says external with a lightning bolt, because it's currently being externally powered. If I unplug this and then plug it in, oh, it's tight because it's new. The USB lights up, which means you're now carrying it off the bus power. So this thing was having some issues with its power draw and how clean the source was. So thank you to the Weird and to the iDefender here for making it tolerable. Actually, I'm going to see if I could just run this through here. That thing pops. This was made in some guy's garage in Japan. I should probably point that out. The person who bought it got it for $190 with shipping, which it seems to be for this tech is cheap, considering this kit is $250 and then the actual module for the iBasso is $209. So anything under $200 seems like a reasonable amount of money. It's a little bit warmer, and believe me, that's hard to say, but this, and I forget what the model number of you. What are you? The Little Bear B4X. That's because this is the balanced one. This has more power than this. This is only being powered by USB. This has a battery pack, and it's got two big-ass tubes in it. They're not big-ass tubes, but it's got two massive tubes in it. So the first problem I have with this right here, it's a little bit quiet. I can't even find power ratings. Can I find power ratings? Oh, let me see if the other one, this one had a big description. Does it actually say 50 milliwatts is the maximum? 80 milliwatts if you use something else. You know what? Yeah, 50 milliwatts sounds about right. 50 milliwatts is not a lot. That's one of the reasons why NuTubes failed. Could be the title of this. There's not a lot of power going on. Yes, they miniaturized it. Yes, it sounds like a tube. But usually what you want to do is you want to put a hard-to-drive high-impedance set of headphones on a tube, because it draws more out of it and it twists the sound more to the tubey sound. Problem being 50 milliwatts is not a lot. I mean, I'm listening here. I put this back on. This is probably going to give me a fucking, like, hey, what do you even... Like, that could be plenty. That could be plenty. That's enough if you're sitting here quietly, you're not trying to blast it. I'm okay with this. Okay, though. I think it sounded better with the iDefender plugged in. So it's lacking in power. This particular unit, which again, built in a garage, comes like this. Oh, I did the second thing. And there's no volume control on it. It's just USB in. It's just a box. There's nothing I could show you. Got the little window so you could see the actual NuTubes glowing in there. And you unscrew the top and you can get access to these two adjustment pots. And these essentially control how much power or how little power are going to the NuTubes. Permanently. I mean, you're not adjusting this on the bus stop. I mean, you probably could. So you essentially set how much power you want, and then you control your volume there. I've got them maxed out for this. Now, I had another set of headphones I had on these that I would have loved to have opened this up and just turned it down. It's too much. Even at 50 milliwatts. You got a little... I wonder if I could change that out with my Burson op amp. Little op amp there. Glass on that. The main reason I think this failed, it probably cost too much. It doesn't have enough power. And the third reason, and the owner has tried to fix it with tape and other things, is vibrations are murderous. You take this amp, this little little bear, this little bear. I plug this in and I play when we're playing over here. So let's just put on. First, it's more powerful, obviously, but if I pause that so that I can hear it. Now, currently amplifying through this, if I tap it or bang it around, I could hear just like a jingle, a little ding, ding. You know when you got a light bulb, an old school light bulb? People are not going to know what light bulb's supposed to break like. You know when you get an old school light bulb and the filament's broken, you take it and you jingle it and you can sort of hear the thing rattling around inside the glass? You sort of get that ding, ding, ding out of a normal tube. You can get out of a big tube. Go look at my review of the, what was the big shit preamp that you knocked on the floor and the whole thing like echoed and reverberated. I'm like, oof. Well, this has a little bit of a different problem. It's the exact same problem, only if I were to like put this on it, oh, I'm not plugged into it. That's why I can't hear it. Let's plug this back into it. Hold on. I'm gonna see if the GoPro can pick this up. Basically, it's like the highest pitch ding. It's tinnitus. You get tinnitus. You get Archer womp womp levels of anytime you bang this thing around. And he pointed out, the owner pointed out, or he linked me this just now, and he's like, if you look at the unit that they have for the Ibasso, which is a company, a big enough company, it's completely wrapped in rubber. They're trying to isolate it. It's so sensitive to just shock and movement that as soon as I tried to use this thing and like move it, no. So what the fuck's the point of miniaturization if you can't put it in a portable device because it makes too much noise? It absolutely, sound-wise, can compete with a nice warm tube. This actually isn't even as warm as this is. I love those, it's just creamy and buttery and all those things I say about tubes, this has. But then it also isn't very powerful, isn't very loud, therefore powerful, is expensive, and very delicate. It's just this like, It's like a gunshot went off at a video game and you're deaf, but it's still going. It's, hold on here, ready? We'll do the test. This is the real reason. Ringing. Still ringing. It's fading. I can barely, wait. Gone. Imagine if you had this in your pocket and just go, and just, no, freak out, blow up the world. So I think this was a beautiful piece of technology that they could have probably enhanced. You can look inside of it and it's just the most interesting little thing with the little fluorescence, and then there's a wire that's dragged across them ever so small. Oh, it's all made in Japan and it's, but it's not in anything. You can't find it in anything. Even ringing. It's actually giving me anxiety. It's giving me fucking anxiety. So once I get rid of the noise with the IFI or this, then it's just that I'm dealing with. And then I'm turning the knobs up and I'm trying to like get a little more out of it. These are not the ideal headphones to try this Korg out with. I would go KPH-30Is, something lightweight. Although the KPH-30Is really don't benefit from a tube. They're so wide and delicate already. but it would be easier to drive, and that's really what you need. IMs on this would be interesting. I did 1 or 2 pairs like 2 weeks ago. I just didn't pull them out for the review. But IM tech, this would be fine. The problem, again, with IMs is you're usually outside. So the fact that it's fucking vibrating around. Now, I don't know if he could have fixed that by not allowing you to see inside the tube. I'm talking about him being the person who designed the Korg NuTube. If he would have made it a sealed module and wrapped it in foam and it just came like that, I wonder if he could have protected it. Or if it's just so much finite little stuff going on in there, there's no way to stop that. Because even just moving it around, gravity causes it to... You'd have to like float it on a gimbal, on a perfect gimbal to have that stop. And it's a shame because I love the way it sounds. But it's just got to sit perfectly still on your desk. You have to use way more efficient headphones than this. And you're going to pay $200+ for that. This thing is like, what, 90? I forget how much this balanced one costs. I mean, it's $90. It only lasts 4 hours. Yeah. But it's like... It's the only way to go portable tube unless you're going to spend the big bucks. What was the one I did? The Fostex HPV 1? Yeah, it was like HPV. It's like human papillomavirus 1. And then more than that is the WA11 Eclipse or the WA8 Eclipse from Audio. Those are all those linked in the description because I hate myself in the future and I want to have to watch this and go, fuck. Those were like, portable tubes is not something that most people get into. And this would have helped a great deal. iBasso putting it in their little module, like an add-on module. Imagine if Fio did that. And imagine if it didn't have a lot of the quirks. Even if it was this, like, low power. I could accept low power. I can. Higher efficiency, lower power output, fine. Tube sound, great. You know, super delicate, can't bang it around, it doesn't work. There's no point in making a small thing. It's like saying, look, we've miniaturized this nuclear reactor just so you can put it in a suitcase, but don't bounce it around or it'll explode. Then why the fuck did you minimize the nuclear reactor? What the hell good is it if I can't move it around? I want to move it around. So that's the basic story of the NuTube. Why it exists, obviously great reasons. Why it's failed, little annoying reasons. So, I mean... I'll link to the kits he linked me, and I will nod my head. He said this guy doesn't make this particular one anymore. He's moved over to like normal old school tubes, probably because he was having a lot of the problems that I'm having. It's a cool concept. Wish it would have worked out. Didn't. We sad now. Anyway, that's it. It's a shorter review today. Talked about the IFI stuff, the weird. I'm gonna move on. I have another little baby tube amp back there. It's an old school tube. This is the thing, though. There's nothing in my future that says anything like this is even coming along again. So enjoy this moment, everybody. Take a breath. It's very rare that if something this different and new comes along, even if it fails, because it's still interesting. And it's like CRT televisions, you know, I have one of those back there. I'll excuse this chair of expensive things. See that CRT television? That is still the greatest fucking display that's ever existed. That's a Silicon Graphics GDM FW900. And I will carry it with me all the way through the fucking end zone of my life. Well, that was really morbid. But if you put it on and you let it warm up and you adjust the colors, it is milk and perfect. And I think that was replaced with LCDs. And you go, oh, look, oh, LCDs are great. They're not. There was another version of that coming out that was going to be a vacuum flat panel between two sheets of glass that had the exact same system that was going to light up individually. And it was called SED or FED. And both of them failed. And none of them are coming out ever. So this is like an attempt to bring tubes with you to the modern age. It just had its quirks and no one's working on it anymore. Don't give up on it. I would love to have a flat panel CRT. Like flat panel CRT. But SED and FED failed. And so did the Korg NuTube. Alright, get her in the description. All wallpapers available in the description. As a change of pace, in case you don't know, I've now added a subscribe star along with Patreon. So I don't think I'm going to have a $2 tier on the Subscribe Star. So any of the tiers in Subscribe Star and the $2 tier on Patreon wallpapers. And I guess I should just say payment systems? I don't know. $5 tiers get you to see these reviews early. Get you in the yard sale. They both count for the yard sale. Get you to see, get you to allow you to message me and I will answer your questions. The $10 tier get you into the private Telegram chat, which I may have to rename because it's called the House of Patronage. And if you're not a patron, if you're a Subscribe Star, then I don't know what you are. House of Pay Star, which is where the behind the scenes action happens. All the cat stuff is cat stuff. Just trust me, this cat stuff. I answer your questions every like 3 hours or 2 hours. I'm checking my phone for ats in there. And I will literally talk to you. And you can PM me if it's a short message. I don't need 170 PMs going. That's the worst idea I've ever had. But yeah, check that out. Check out Patreon, Subscribe Star. Check out Hi-Fi Guides. I don't think there's a post for this. Maybe I'll just make a post called NuTubes. You know what? Future Zeos, you hate me even more. Just make a thing somewhere on Hi-Fi Guides where people can discuss NuTubes and if they know of any implementations that work, if they know of any kits they want to put together. Because I'd like to see this furthered, but since the news on the site is 2016 and only 2016, we're probably shit out of luck. Anyway, I'll see you all tomorrow for another video, and I'll listen to like 1 or 2 more songs before I box this thing up and put it back together. It'd be nice. It would be nice if it was great and worked perfectly.